September, the start of spring for us. Before we plant anything, remember that the Southern Hemisphere includes several very different climates. This guide is primarily for temperate areas, including New Zealand, Southern Australia, temperate parts of South Africa, Southern Brazil, Uruguay, Chile, Argentina. September is early spring in these regions. However, gardeners in subtropical and tropical areas, including Northern Australia, the Pacific Islands and parts of South America, will have warmer conditions and may need different planting times. Your local temperature is more important than the date. If frost is still possible, keep tender seedlings protected until conditions improve. You don't need complicated equipment. Start with pots with drainage holes, fresh vegetable potting mix, seed raising mix for small seeds, plant labels, a watering can with a gentle rose, seeds suited to your local climate. Avoid filling containers with ordinary garden soil. It can become compacted, restrict drainage, and introduce weeds or diseases. Small salad crops can grow in pots about 15 to 20 centimeters deep. Root vegetables and larger plants generally need containers at least 25 to 30 centimeters deep. Now, let's choose the vegetables. Lettuce is one of the easiest September vegetables for containers. Loose leaf varieties are particularly useful because you can harvest the outside leaves while the center continues growing. Sow the seeds shallowly and keep the surface consistently moist. Don't overcrowd the seedlings. Good airflow reduces the chance of fungal disease. In warm districts, position lettuce where it receives morning sunshine and some afternoon shade. Radishes are perfect for impatient gardeners. Sow them directly into the final pot, about 1 centimeter deep. Space the seeds so the roots have room to swell. Regular watering is important. If the pot repeatedly dries out, the roots may become woody, split, or develop an excessively strong flavor. Radishes can also be planted between slower growing vegetables, provided they are harvested before the neighboring plants need the space. Carrots grow well in containers, but choose the right variety. Short, round, or baby carrots are often more reliable in pots than long-rooted varieties. Fill the container with a fine, stone-free potting mix. Sow directly into the pot and cover the seeds lightly. Carrot seed can take time to germinate, so don't let the surface dry out. Once the seedlings appear, thin them carefully. Crowded carrots produce small or distorted roots. Beetroot offers 2 harvests from one plant, edible leaves and a swollen root. Sow directly into a deep pot. What appears to be one beetroot seed is often a cluster that can produce several seedlings, so thinning may be necessary. Young leaves can be added to salads, but don't remove too many from any one plant if you want a good root. Spinach enjoys cool spring conditions, making September an excellent sowing month in many temperate regions. True spinach can bolt when the weather becomes hot, so sow it early and keep it evenly watered. Silver beet, also called Swiss chard, is larger and usually more tolerant of changing temperatures. It needs a deeper pot, but a few plants can provide repeated leaf harvests for months. Silver beet, pot depth at least 25-30 centimeters. First harvest, approximately 8-10 weeks. Peas appreciate cool conditions and can still be sown during September in many Southern Hemisphere climates. Dwarf varieties are the easiest for pots, although even compact plants benefit from short stakes or a small trellis. Sow peas directly into their final container. Place the support in position early to avoid damaging the roots later. In districts where spring quickly becomes hot, sow peas near the beginning of September. Spring onions are productive, compact, and ideal for narrow troughs or balcony planters. Sow them directly into the container, either individually or in small clusters. They tolerate closer spacing because they don't need to form large bulbs. Make small sowings every few weeks rather than planting an entire packet at once. This gives you a longer, more manageable harvest. September is also an excellent time to try Asian leafy vegetables. Bok choy, mizuna, tatsoi, and komatsuna grow quickly and perform particularly well in containers. They can be harvested young for salads or allowed to mature for cooking. Keep them protected from slugs and snails. Check the undersides of leaves for caterpillars, aphids, and other pests. Don't leave bok choy seedlings crowded together. Adequate space produces healthier plants and larger stems. September is a traditional time to plant potatoes in many temperate southern hemisphere gardens, but check your frost risk first. Use certified seed potatoes rather than potatoes sold for eating. Plant them in a large container or grow bag with excellent drainage. As the shoots grow, gradually add more potting mix around them, leaving the upper leaves exposed. One potato plant needs much more space than a lettuce or radish. Don't crowd several plants into a small container. September is also the time to begin several summer vegetables, but that doesn't necessarily mean planting them outside. Tomatoes, capsicums, chilies, eggplants, courgettes, pumpkins, and beans are sensitive to cold conditions. In cool areas, start tomatoes, capsicums, chilies, and eggplants indoors, in a greenhouse or inside a propagator. Wait before sowing cucumbers, courgettes, and pumpkins if they are likely to outgrow their pots before the weather becomes warm enough. These plants grow quickly and dislike prolonged cold. Beans should normally be sown once the soil and weather are reliably warm. Cold, wet potting mix can cause the seeds to rot. A seedling raised under protection must also be hardened off. Introduce it gradually to outdoor sunshine, wind, and cooler temperatures over about a week before planting it into its final container. Tomatoes are the most popular summer container crop. In September, sow seeds somewhere warm if outside temperatures remain low. Once the frost risk has passed, transplant one tomato into a large final container. Dwarf or patio varieties are suitable for smaller spaces. Indeterminate or climbing tomatoes need bigger pots, stronger supports, and regular training. Courgettes and cucumbers can be remarkably productive, but they need warmth. In warmer, frost-free districts, they may be started during September. In cooler parts of New Zealand, southern Australia, Chile, or Argentina, waiting until later in spring may be safer. Choose compact varieties. Give each plant a large container and provide climbing cucumbers with a sturdy trellis. Avoid waterlogged compost, but don't allow actively growing plants to dry out. September is also suitable for sowing parsley, coriander, chives, and dill in many areas. Basil requires more warmth, so start it under protection in cool climates. Coriander can bolt as temperatures rise. Sow small batches regularly and give it some afternoon shade in warmer regions. Herbs make excellent use of smaller containers, but avoid putting too many different herbs into one crowded pot. Here are 5 mistakes that can undermine a September container garden. Mistake 1. Sowing tender crops outside too early. A sunny afternoon doesn't mean the danger of frost has ended. Mistake 2. Choosing pots without drainage holes. Waterlogged roots can quickly kill young plants. Mistake 3. Using exhausted potting mix. Old mix may have lost nutrients, structure, and its ability to drain correctly. Mistake 4. Overcrowding. A pot full of seedlings may look productive, but competition creates weaker plants and smaller harvests. Mistake 5. Watering only the surface. Water deeply enough to moisten the root zone, then check the pot before watering again. Containers can dry quickly on sunny or windy spring days, so their moisture levels should be checked regularly. For direct sowing in many temperate southern hemisphere locations, consider lettuce, radishes, carrots, beetroot, spinach, silver beet, peas, spring onions, bok choy, mizuna, tatsoi, potatoes. Start these under protection where conditions are still cold. Tomatoes, capsicums, chilies, eggplants, basil. Wait for reliable warmth before planting outside. Beans, cucumbers, courgettes, pumpkins. Always adjust this list for your latitude, frost dates, and local growing conditions. September is not about planting everything at once. It's about starting hardy vegetables outside, raising summer crops somewhere protected, and preparing your containers for the warmer months ahead. Begin with 1 or 2 vegetables you genuinely enjoy eating. Lettuce, radishes, spring onions, and Asian greens are excellent choices for a first pot garden because they grow quickly and don't require an enormous container. If you found this guide useful, subscribe and follow the One Pot Vegetables series. Each episode will show you how to grow a different vegetable in a container, from sowing the seed to harvesting your own food. And tell me in the comments, what will you be sowing this September, and which part of the Southern Hemisphere are you gardening in?